This video is to show you how to make a jelly bean angelfish. So these cute little angelfish are completely no-sew, so it's a very quick project to work up. And my examples here are done in the Hobbii Honey Bunny yarn. So I have lilac, pink, and turquoise, and I'm going to make another one today in the Hobbii Honey Bunny aqua. And then I also have a bit of white worsted weight yarn or medium weight yarn, and I will use that for that little bit of eye embroidery. So you don't need very much of either one. This one's about 15 yards and this one's only about a foot. So in addition to my yarns, I also have my hook. So it's an H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter. I have 10 millimeter safety eyes. You could embroider your eyes on if you prefer though. And then I have my scissors, needle, stitch markers, and of course a little bit of stuffing. If you'd like to follow along with a written version of the pattern, there will be a free version available on my blog. That'll be once this video becomes public. Then the free version will also be up. But before that, there will also be a paid version available on Ravelry and Etsy, and I will provide all the links down below for you. And if you're wanting to adjust the speed of the video, you can do so by going to the cog in the upper right corner, and then the drop-down menu will have an option for playback speed. So click that and you can go ahead and speed up the video or slow it down, whatever your preference is. And don't forget, you can always pause the video to take a break or to get caught up. And that's about it. So let's get started. So let's start with our head and body. To begin, we're going to do a magic ring. Now, if you don't like doing magic rings, especially with the chenille style yarn, that's okay. You can go ahead and chain 2 and place all the stitches from round 1 in the second chain from the hook. So when I'm doing my magic rings, I like to keep everything nice and loose for the first round, and then the second round I will crochet tighter. So for round 1, we want to place 4 single crochet stitches into our ring. And then we'll close the ring. Okay, and don't forget to add your stitch marker into the last stitch you worked. All right, on to round 2. So round 2 is going to be an increase round. So we're going to go from having 4 stitches up to 6 stitches. To do that, we want to single crochet in the next stitch and then place 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. So again, single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the stitch after that. And then we want to repeat that sequence one more time. So single crochet, and then we'll place 2 single crochets here in our last stitch. So on to round 3. Okay, so let's begin round 3. So for round 3, we're going to be doing an increase round. We're going to go from having 6 stitches up to 10, but we're not going to do that in the same way that we normally would. We're going to be chaining out from a couple of the stitches and working back along the chain. And what that will do is increase the head quickly on either side of the little nose. Okay, so I'll work through it slowly so to help you. And we'll start with just a single crochet in our next stitch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. And then we want to work back along this chain. So we'll start in the second chain from the hook. I'm going to work in the back bumps of the chains, but you don't have to work that way. You could work in the side if you wanted, but I find if I work in the back bump here, then it'll minimize a hole that could form. So we want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and then also single crochet in the next chain. Then we are going to jump back here over to the nose area, and we are going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches of the nose. So you want to make sure that this single crochet is not the same stitch that you're working in now. You want to make sure you move over to the next one here. So we're single crocheting in each of these next 3 stitches. And then we're going to chain 3 again. And working in the second chain from the hook, we want to put a single crochet there. And then we're going to single crochet in the next chain as well. Okay. And then we are going to jump back over onto the nose part. We have 2 stitches left here, right here and here. So we want to single crochet in each of those. Again, make sure you're not placing another single crochet here because you've already worked that stitch. So make sure it's over here beside. And again, we're going to single crochet in this stitch and in the last one. So when you reach the end of round 3, you will have 10 stitches altogether. You'll have the first stitch here, and then this is your chain. So that doesn't count as a stitch, but you'll have 2 stitches. Work down the other side of your chain. So we're up to 3 stitches total. And then there's 3 more here for 6. And then you have your chain on this side, and which doesn't count as a stitch. 2 stitches here that were worked into your chain, and that's 8 altogether, and then your last 2 stitches. So you'll have 10 stitches altogether. When we work this next round, round 4, we're going to end up having 16 stitches. So we'll work our stitch here, we'll work in the back of this chain, so we'll work 2 stitches here, we'll work in the end of the chain, and then we'll work in these 5 stitches, and that'll bring us to the next chain over here. We'll work in the back of the chain, the end of the chain, and then we'll follow and finish off with these 4 stitches. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the bottom of the chain for the next 2 stitches, then you're going to crochet in the side of this stitch, and you'll crochet in the top of this stitch, you'll single crochet again in the next 4 stitches until we reach that other chain over here. And then we're going to single crochet in the bottom of these 2 chains. We're going to single crochet in the side of the next stitch. And then we want to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So we've got the top of the stitch we just worked in, then 2, 3, 4. So again, this brings us up to 16 stitches altogether at the end of round 4. Okay, so see how we've got an oval shape now? That's what we want it to look like. So for round 5, we're also going to do an increase round, but this time we're going to increase like normal. So we'll crochet out 3 stitches and we'll do our increase, and then we'll do our other increase over here. So start with single crocheting in the next 3 stitches. Then place 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next 7 stitches. Two single crochets in our next stitch. And then you're going to single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. Okay, and then we're on to round 6 and 7 here. So for round 6 and 7, you're going to single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to do those off camera, but you will begin and end with 18 stitches for both of those rounds. So again, round 6 and 7, just single crochet in each stitch, and I will meet you back here to do round 8. Here we are at round 8. So when we work round 8, we're going to be doing our side fins. So the side fins will be worked in the front loop only of the stitch. And then the following round will work in the back loop of the stitch. So I'll show you what I mean as we go, but all of the stitches that are shown within the brackets, they will all be worked into the front loop of the same stitch. So let's get started. We're going to start by single crocheting in our next stitch, and then we're going to start a fin. So to begin your fin, you want to slip stitch in the front loop only of that stitch, and then chain 1, do 2 double crochet stitches in the same front loop, and then you're going to chain 1 and slip stitch, all in the same front loop of the stitch. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So for these stitches, you want to make sure you're working them in both sides of the stitch like normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. Okay, and then we're going to work our second fin. So again, in the front loop only, you're going to do a slip stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, slip stitch, and then we're going to move on to our next stitch, and we are going to single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. And in the 6th stitch here, so we're on the 6th one, that's the one that you want to mark to show where the top of your fish is. So we'll use that later to show us how to line up the tail. So again, that's in stitch number 6. You're going to mark that so you know where the top of the fish is. And then finish out those 10 single crochet stitches that you were doing. So again, we have 16 stitches plus the 2 back loop stitches. So we still technically have 18 stitches. It's just that we're going to use the back loops that were left open as the stitch in place of the fin here. Okay, so for round 9, we are going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to single crochet in the back loop. So fold your fin forward there, and then you want to find the back loop from that previous round, and we'll single crochet in there. And then you need to find your single crochet stitch again. Make sure that you don't get the slip stitches mixed in. You want to find your single crochet stitch. You're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches. When you reach this next fin here, you're going to push it forward and find the back loop that's still left back here. Single crochet in it, and then you're going to single crochet in the next 10 stitches. So we're not increasing or decreasing here, but we are using the back loops as stitches in place of the stitches of the fins so that they can stick out. So when you complete this round, go ahead and make sure you still have 18 stitches, that nothing's been skipped. And now's a good time to add in your safety eyes. So you want to put your safety eyes on about round 5 of the head and body. And so you count from the nose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's about 2 rounds in from your fin. And then you probably want about 2 stitches up. 1, 2. So we're looking at right about here. Don't secure it until you know for sure that that's where you want it. Let's take a look at the other side. We want to go in 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 2 from your fin. So 1, 2. And because the round changes over the front here, it may not look exactly even. You can adjust that as you like. And remember, when we finish here, we're going to finish by flattening out the fish. So it will have more of an oval appearance. Okay, so I like where those are. I'm going to secure them in place. So secure them however you'd like. Now, if you aren't using safety eyes, don't just skip over this part. You still could use a stitch marker and place it in the same spot that these safety eyes have been placed, and that'll just give you an idea of where to embroider the eyes later on. Okay, so there we go. We've got some safety eyes. And then we are on to rounds 10 and 11 of our angelfish. Rounds 10 and 11, we're going to single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to do that off camera, and when I come back, we'll work on round 12. So again, rounds 10 and 11, you want to single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm back here with round 12 of the angelfish, and what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in the next 14 stitches. So we're not going to actually crochet till the end of the round here, because we want to try to end off somewhere up here to be able to flatten and do our tail. So we're going to just single crochet in the next 14 stitches for this round. Okay, So there's our 14 stitches. So I'm going to move my stitch marker to be at the end of those 14 stitches. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to line up where the tail is going to go. If you want, you could add a bit of stuffing in here, but I would recommend waiting until you've got part of the tail done before you add the stuffing in. Okay, so to line up our tail, we want to place our fish down on a hard surface. You want the face to be facing you and the opening to be facing away. And what we want to do is we're going to use this stitch marker here that we added earlier. We're going to use that one as a guide so we know where the top of the fish is supposed to be. And we want to find our stitch here on the right hand side, because this is going to be the stitch that we start working in for our tail. So if this is not the next stitch to work, if you're back further here or if you're too far ahead, either add or remove a stitch to be right here. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is that is in the stitch that we just indicated, the marked stitch. I'm going to do a slip stitch here. You don't have to do a slip stitch right there, but I'm going to do that just to kind of be able to show you where that stitch is. I'm going to take out the stitch marker because it's going to be in my way in just a second. So when we are working the tail here, we are going to work across both pieces of the fabric. So we're going to work both sides together all the way across here. So we're going to be starting in the furthest right stitch. That's the one I slip stitched into. And we need to find the last single crochet worked back here. So this is the first set of stitches that we're going to work into, and then you'll work into each set of stitches along here as we go through the tail. So then we're going to start with a single crochet here in these marked stitches, and we want to chain 5. And then you want to start in the second chain from the hook, and you're going to single crochet. So again, I'm working in the back bump here. You don't have to work in the back bump. So we single crocheted in the second chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet in the next 3 chains as well. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the body and working the 2 sides together. We're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. Okay, and we're going to chain 2, and we're going to place 3 double crochet stitches in our next stitch. Okay, and then chain 2 again, and you want to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Oh, I almost forgot here. I'm going to stuff it. So after that chain 2, that'll still give me enough to stuff it. Sorry about that. Okay, when you're stuffing, you want to make sure that you've got it right in the nose there as well, just a little bit. You don't have to stuff these all that firmly. Okay. That should be good. All right, so we left off with our chain 2. We had done the chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then we need to single crochet in the next 3 stitches across. And then we want to chain 5. And we want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Single crochet in each of the next 3 chains. And then we're going to jump back here to the body to place our last single crochet stitch. So there we go. Now I'm going to just cut my yarn and weave in my ends. And then when I come back here, we'll do a quick eye detail and then we'll be finished. Okay, so to do the quick little eye detail, I have white worsted weight yarn or medium weight yarn, and I have about 12 inches of it. And then I have my darning needle here, and I'm going to insert the needle down here at the bottom of the fish and come up right about here, just right at the middle under the eye. So I want to come up as close as I can to there. I'm going to see if I can get up just a little bit closer in here. Okay, it's not gonna work, so we're just gonna go up here, down at the top center here. I'm gonna flip over to the other side of the fish, and I'm just gonna push my needle out here just below the eye, because I'll get a better angle when I'm working on the other side. And then kind of secure that there. And we'll come over to this other side, and I'll go back in where I came out here and come up the center under the eye, go down just above the eye there, and then I'm going to poke that all the way down the center where I first started. Just kind of pull so it's sitting right. Check both sides. And that one is sitting a little higher, so I'm going to just pull it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so then just tie a knot here at the bottom and weave in your ends. Okay, so there we go. Whole school of little angelfish. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye for now.